Hello, everyone, and welcome to this What's AdvoCare presentation. We are so glad that you have carved out some time to take a look and find out more about AdvoCare. My name is Tanya Parr, and my husband Benji and I are going to be the ones who are walking you through and introducing you to the world of AdvoCare. We actually got started on AdvoCare products back in April of 1999. And they have been a huge part of our life. But not only that, but the business of AdvoCare has changed our life as well. That's our children. They were 5 and 3 when we took our first products. They are now going to be 20 and 18. So how time flies. So let's talk about what is AdvoCare. Here's what we are. We're almost 20 years old, and what we do is we provide solutions in 2 key areas, as you see there on the screen. The 2 things that every American family has to look at some point is our health and our finances. What AdvoCare does is we help provide solutions in those 2 areas. We're based out of Plano, Texas. We've been around, like I said, almost 20 years, and we put together products that help people do 3 things: look better, feel better, and perform better. From the finances side, we help people pay off debt, get finances in order, and have choices, which is a really exciting thing. One of the first things that people often ask about, and the question that even if they don't say it, that goes through their head is, they want to know, are these products safe? I actually started my career as a wellness director at a hospital, always been into nutrition and health, and thought I was going to go on to be a doctor, but started working for one and decided that I wanted to, I did a full turn. Went away from that because my ultimate dream was to be a mom, and I knew that working for doctors and meeting other lady doctors, it was just a lifestyle that I really did not want to pursue. But AdvoCare for me, when I was looking at it for the first time back in '99, safety was a big deal because of my wellness background, because of just where I've been in life. But really for everybody, there's lots of products on the market, and people will ask me all the time, why AdvoCare, Tanya? What about da-da-da-da-da-da-da? And they fill in the blank, something they've heard online, seen on television, a friend's told them about, seen in a magazine. When you look at that science behind the products, that's really what sets AdvoCare apart. AdvoCare has over 250 years worth of science that goes into our product line. You can look at those scientists, you can research them, you can see where they currently still are working. I have some of my favorites. Sydney Stowe's was a big one to my husband Benji, who had been in pharmaceuticals for 15 years. Dr. Stowe's, at the time, he is now retired and has come on as our head of our Scientific and Medical Advisory Board, but he was at Creighton School of Pharmacy, and that was a big deal. But you can look at those people. He's one that I really enjoy, Dr. Stan Dudrick, who pioneered intravenous feeding over 40 years ago. Just look at those people and look at their credentials, and you will know that AdvoCare is based on solid science. Because of that, hundreds of endorsers choose AdvoCare, and I'm going to bring my husband Benji on because I'm looking at Tori Smith and Trent Dilfer and Carly Lloyd. Benji, what did these endorsers mean to you back in '99 when we started, but more importantly today?
Well, the science was important 15 years ago because I spent 15 years in pharmaceuticals, but I also grew up around sports. I played sports, and at 32 I was still playing sports. So when I saw AdvoCare's endorsers, and this was 15 years ago, and now we fast forward to where we are today, AdvoCare's in all 32 NFL locker rooms. And because the products are safe and they're backed by science, and we got a sports advisory council, endorsers from all realms of sport use AdvoCare, and they use it every day. Like Tanya said, if it's Olympic athletes, college athletes, pro athletes, AdvoCare is swallowed every single day. And it's not a special product that the endorsers use. It's the same products that, me now at 45 can take the same products. I may not be Drew Brees, but I can feel like I am because the way AdvoCare products make you feel. So it helped me to know that not only were the products safe, but they're also used by people who are performing at the highest levels in all realms of sports, and they were taking products not because they were getting a check for it, but they were taking because the products worked.
Well, Benji, I've just pulled up the screen of our official national spokesperson, Drew Brees. You mentioned him. How important is that? I know a lot of people, when they're looking, they think, oh, I don't really know, or they're looking for that credibility. How big is it for Drew Brees to be our national spokesperson?
Well, I mean, just the integrity of Drew, whether you follow football or not, people know Drew Brees. And for him to attach his name to a company and be the national spokesperson. Matter of fact, I was talking to a coach the other night, and he was brand new in AdvoCare. But here's what he saw. He saw Drew Brees using AdvoCare. He said, so here's what I tell people. Now, he's a football coach, and he's out in the foot, he's friends of football coaches. He said, all I tell him is, Drew Brees uses AdvoCare, and that's enough for me. And sure enough, that's been enough for all his friends because of the integrity and the character of Drew. But what Drew here is also what draws all of us here. Products are safe, they're backed by science, and they work. So he's here the same reason we're here. He just happens to be on a scale to where people know him.
Well, Benji, I loved it because, I'm not Drew Brees either, obviously, and I'm not Carly Lloyd. And the screen that's going to come up next is going to tell you about a great product-only website. Now, it's kind of a good intro if you're wondering where to get started with AdvoCare. Of course, the person who invites you to watch this presentation, they're going to be your best resource. They're going to be best at helping you match up what your goals are and what products are good for you. ChooseTheChallenge.com, like I say, it's a product-only website, and it offers 5 different product starting points. Based on our 5 different families of products within AdvoCare. I loved it when I came to AdvoCare that it was not just a one-size-fits-all product, that you have a trim, an active, performance elite, well and definite difference line of products. So you have things within those, over 70 different products. So there is something that can help you. Remember those 3 things, look better, feel better, perform better? There are things within those different product families that can be specifically set up for you and your goals. On ChooseTheChallenge.com, of course, with 2/3 of the population being overweight, the #1 choice that people have is they have the Trim Challenge. And in fact, I sometimes think that's misnamed as a misnomer because I started with the Trim Challenge, and my goal was not to lose weight. My goal was to get healthy. I needed the health benefits. And here's the great thing about AdvoCare. We're not a quick, fad weight loss company. We are a nutrition company. But what happens is, as you get healthy from the inside out, your body begins to change. Speaking of choices, you've got choices as far as relationships go in AdvoCare as well. 4 different things as we go through the rest of the presentation it can be whatever choice that you want to fit in. Actually, I say there's 5 relationships because you may get to the end of this, you may log off and go on about your day and not think about AdvoCare again, or you may not think about it for a couple of years or whatever. My goal would never be that, especially from a wellness perspective, but here's the thing I know. You have 4 other relationships that you can choose from. You can get your products from the person who invited you to the webinar. You can get them at full retail. That's a retail customer. You can also register with AdvoCare, and you can become a member, kind of like a Costco, BJ, Sam's membership, but it's an AdvoCare membership, and you can be a wholesale customer. The 3rd relationship is you can be a distributor at the 40% level. And I love what it says there. Love the products and share them with others for some part-time extra income. How many people are looking for that? And then the final relationship people choose to have is a business advisor, and that is something that you may want to look into as well. But let's dig into some stories because you know what? That's what I loved is that I heard about other people just like me that were getting results like what I wanted. So I want to bring on first someone who has just finished a Trim Plus challenge just in the last couple of days. His name is Cliff Miller. He is from Monroe, Georgia, and you see him there on the screen. Doing what he does the best, which he loves the most, and that's being with his family. Cliff, you got started on the 24-Day Trim Plus Challenge. Tell them what's happened for you.
Yeah, I just finished the 24-Day Challenge, and as of this morning when I weighed, I lost 20 pounds in the 24-Day Challenge.
Wow. Now, Cliff, what did you do for a living? I know you're recently retired, even though you're still young.
Yeah, I worked for the Georgia State Patrol for 32 years, and I've been retired almost 2 years. January will be 2 years that I've been retired, and just like everyone, when you retire, you put on a little weight, and I had gotten to be the heaviest that I had been in my lifetime, and just decided that it was time to lose some weight. And your first thing is you say go out and exercise, and the problem with being 52 years old and 40 pounds overweight, it's like the doctor told me, you got 200-pound needs and you weigh 243 pounds. So exercise really was kind of tough because, number one, it's not enjoyable and then it's painful. So I chose the 24-Day Challenge to try to get my 243 pounds down to 200 pounds so I could start exercising. So the 20 pounds I've lost is basically without any exercise. And that's kind of was my goal, to see how much I could lose in the 24 days without exercise. And then I'm going to try to lose, I don't know, 10 or 15 more pounds before I start exercising so it won't be so tough on my football, basketball, baseball knees that I created from playing high school and college sports.
Well, I am excited what's happening for you. 20 pounds in 24 days. I know that is absolutely spectacular, and we're going to celebrate every pound that comes off. So thank you so much for sharing. Well, speaking of celebrating pounds that have come off, I want y'all to look at that next screen at Kristen Ledford from Decula, Georgia. And there's a picture at the top of that Trim Plus Challenge that Cliff was just talking about, and also the page off of the Choose the Challenge website. But, you know, those are just things you can just look at. Look on the left-hand side of that screen and look at Kristen before, look at her after, and listen up. Kristen, tell them what's happened for you with it since you started on AdvoCare products.
Thanks, Tanya, for inviting me on this webinar. Yeah, as you can see, AdvoCare has for sure changed me physically. I was that mom who was exhausted. I worked long hours, and I was clearly overweight. I decided I needed a change, and unfortunately it took losing my mother to cancer to change. But before signing AdvoCare in January of 2011, I was on another weight loss program. But here's the thing. I wasn't getting healthy in the process, and that was my goal because of losing my mom to cancer. So I could prevent some health issues in the future. I started on the 24-day challenge like a lot of people do. A friend introduced me to it. I lost 15 pounds. But here's the thing. More importantly, I felt amazing. I was this energy drink junkie, loved coffee, diet drinks, wasn't getting my water intake in. But I no longer needed those things. Through this challenge, my body just kind of said, hey, you don't need those things anymore. But during my entire weight loss, it took me around 2 weeks to lose my weight. I lost 90 pounds. I was a 14, 16, and I shot down to a 4, 6. And my mother-in-law used to always tell me, she said, Kristen, you can kiss those high school days goodbye. I turned 30 this year. And I will tell you what, I am the same size as I was in high school back when I was 16, 17, and 18. So I just feel better than ever.
Kristen, that is an awesome story. And it's hard to believe that's what you look like because I've only seen you as the after. And I'm excited about you. Congratulations for your success. Well, you know, those are some great product stories. Those are out of the Trim Plus Challenge. If you're struggling with losing weight, if you feel like I need to walk to the mirror and put a big loser on my head, the only loser I want you to put on your head is that you actually are winning at weight loss. I cannot tell you how many people in the first decade that I tried to help lose weight of my wellness career who would just get so frustrated and feel like a total failure all the time. And then adding AdvoCare in for the last almost 14 years, people now come up and say, oh, my word, I am winning. I'm a winner. I'm winning at this. And it's incredible because not only do you take it off, but you're able to keep it off, which is a huge part of the battle. But remember, there are two sides of AdvoCare, and I want you to just spend a minute looking and meet the average American family. Now, you may look at this and say, hey, that's not me. Maybe you're in a better spot. Maybe you're in a worse spot. Maybe you're right in the average. But this really is reality, and I want to shift over and talk a little bit more about options in AdvoCare. They have $3,800 in the bank. No one has a retirement account in 50% of American households. Well, in the other 50%, the people that actually do have a retirement account only have $35,000 saved for retirement. They don't have any mutual funds, stocks, or bonds. Their house is worth $160,000, but the family owes $95,000 on it to the bank. They make on average about $43,000 a year, but they can't manage to pay off a $2,200 credit card balance. So look at those statistics, and you know what? If you are doing better than that, congratulations. If you are struggling, I want y'all to listen up. But either way, listen as we continue on this call because I want to show you an average American family. You see that beautiful family walking down the beach? Well, it's Kristen and Tommy Ledford and their 2 boys. Remember, she just told us about her weight loss story. Well, Kristen, that's really what opened your eyes to the other relationship with AdvoCare, which was to build a business because you got such incredible product results. So would you mind coming back on and share with us what has happened for you thanks to the business of AdvoCare?
Yes, absolutely. See, during those first 9 months of doing AdvoCare, I didn't tell anybody what I was doing until that moment when I decided, you know what, I need to help all these other moms and dads and friends who are struggling with the same thing that I was struggling with. So I got that confidence and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And it was so easy because it's not like I was selling anything. I was just helping other families. In the beginning when I signed up last year in September, I was making an extra $1,000 a month easily off the bat. But here's the thing, that finding moments was when me and my husband went out to Success School in Texas, and we saw other moms and dads doing what we're doing. So we came home last January, and we just hit the ground running. My husband's a lineman at our local power company, so as I came home from that job that I was working long hours, I came home to stay with my 2 kids. My husband went to work working at least 20, 30 hours of overtime. But here's the thing. When we worked this together, we doubled and tripled our income. Within a couple months, we started making $46,000 a month. And I don't see this as selling anything. I see it as sharing an opportunity with other people. And we see it doubling our income in the upcoming year just by helping others.
Well, it is incredible to see what has happened for you physically, but financially. How many extra hours is Tommy having to work now?
I have brought him home from working, other than all the storms that are going on right now, 0 hours of overtime.
And you know what? How do you put a price tag on time? Sorry, that chokes me up, because I'm sitting here looking at the picture of those boys and realizing how much their daddy was gone and what that meant to you as well. So, Kristen, I'm excited for you. And you know what I'm really excited about is that in AdvoCare, you're only successful when other people are. Now, Benji, our next guest, I know you would love to introduce him. He's from McDonough, Georgia. You want to tell a little bit about him?
Yeah, I'd love to. This next story, a good buddy of mine, and they were just AdvoCare product users for several years. And just through the process of the product working and some changes in the economy, they gave us a call just a short time ago and said, hey, we want to take it from product using to actual earning some extra income. And I'd like to introduce my next buddy, Randy Stamey. Randy, you here?
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being on here. Just tell us a little bit about what happened with you, AdvoCare, just using the opportunity of AdvoCare and how it's kind of changed your family.
Benji, as you said earlier, we were product users way before we did the business story. And I love hearing all the Kristen story about the weight loss and people seeing that. But we saw AdvoCare from a whole different standpoint. When 2 short years ago, we were meeting y'all for lunch, and I saw the opportunity, and I said, if you can get me in Success School, I'm in. Being from Missouri, I had to put my hands around this thing and make sure it was real. And when I got out there the very first night, Drew Brees come out there, and that's the national spokesperson. That's when they introduced the pink lemonade that night, you recall. So saw everybody. The next day we got to meet the docs, got to talk to them personally, the people who actually formulate the product that we consume. We came back to Ghana with a mission to build a business. My past history is real estate. Did real estate for since '99. With the crash of the market, I saw every people around me just constantly losing everything because our market it just dried up. Like I think you used the term before. It's like putting the emergency brakes on the real estate market, and that's where we were. We saw the opportunity. We came back. We built the business, and I can honestly say, Benji, every month it gets faster and faster.
Well, Randy, talk about faster and faster. Put some numbers to faster, because you got some people listening tonight who are listening for the very first time, thinking, "Hey, I need extra income. I'd like to be part of something like this." What does that mean in terms of dollars for your family?
Benji, we might not be the fastest movers, but we've been the steadiest movers. We came back, been doing this a little over 2 years. We have saw our income, especially in the last year, almost double every 90 days. We started out with about a $500 a month. Now we're a little over 2 years into it. We're seeing $5,500 to $6,500 a month. But more importantly, Benji, is the people that's coming in that's joining us with this ride. I mean, that's what it is. It's a fun ride in life, and they're moving so much quicker because now all the advertising, everything that AdvoCare is doing as a corporation, we're all benefited locally. So I see us right now, but more importantly is where I see us in 6 months, and that's where we're heading. We're excited. We love the opportunity, but more than anything, we love the company.
Yep. Thank you, Randy. As fast as AdvoCare is growing, that $6,000 a month in 12 months could easily be $12,000 a month or more for you and your family. So thank you for taking time to be on here today. Tanya, I'll turn it back to you to introduce our last guest.
Well, as everybody's sitting here watching and listening to this presentation, I hope that you're seeing something in AdvoCare that could make a difference for you. I know that what I love about AdvoCare is that you follow and you see other people and what they've done both from a product and or a business perspective, and you're able to duplicate that. And it's not like there's a secret that people hide somewhere in a file drawer or in their computer, or they just whisper amongst themselves, the people who are making great money. But I almost find it funny because Randy just said they're making $5,500 to $6,500 a month after just 2 years in AdvoCare, and it's incredible because people are going. You can go faster, you can go slower, you can do whatever, but to know that that's possible. But I want y'all to really listen up because we want to bring it around and really talk about what's in AdvoCare for you. And I have a dear friend. I absolutely love her and her family. I just smile looking at the screen when it pops up. I want y'all to welcome to the call Lisa Hardman from Alabama. Lisa, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you so much, Tanya.
Well, tell them what's happened for you in Carlton and really what's in it for the people that are watching the presentation.
Absolutely. Well, you know, just listening to the stories today, I am so touched, and my heart is just so full. And what I know is that each and every person listening in, if you're listening to this call, you don't want to be the average person with your health or with your finances. You want to go above and beyond for your family, for your future, and for the legacy that you're leaving behind. And so I'm just so touched by that because it is about changing other people's lives, and in the process, your life has changed too. Our story began 10 years ago in August of 2002. And my boys, you see there, they're 13 in the picture right before you. They were 3. And we were in a situation where my husband was traveling every week with his job, much like Benji in the medical sales profession, and was gone all the time. And we really had, we were paying our bills, but we were getting behind, and we didn't have any money to get ahead. And just thinking about little things like being able to take a trip without the temptation to put it on a line of credit if you needed 4 new tires, if you needed to do things for your children or have them involved in different activities. And we needed some breathing room, so we saw AdvoCare as an income opportunity from the very first moment. And we knew there was no risk, and so we went straight to advisor. And for us, that meant an extra $2,200 that very first month. Actually earned about $900 in our first 10 days. And we were so excited, and we knew that if it was good enough for these athletes, it was good enough for us. So fast forward that first year on a very part-time basis, we made an extra $40,000, and that was with my husband traveling all the time. We didn't have child care. Our children were 3, and we just began to share what we had found with other people and continue to duplicate that each and every year and grow our income. And after about 4 or 5 years in the business, we paid off about $160,000 worth of debt, and that was huge for us. That included our first mortgage. And AdvoCare's guiding principles are about getting back to square one and paying off debt, and we loved the fact that we could wrap our lives and minds around a company that was centering itself on everything we personally desired for our family. So 2008, because of the debt we paid off, Carlton was able to walk away from his very busy medical sales job, and he was selling surgical back screws. Prior to AdvoCare, I had been a school teacher and worked in women's ministries, so Carlton was able to join me full-time. 2008, our 1099 income was $75,000. 2009, $140,000. 2010, $350,000. 2011, $520,000. And this year we will finish up right at around $800,000 with this as an income opportunity, averaging anywhere from $60,000 to $70,000 per month. Our best month was right over $75,000. And I think about that, the average American family, and the fact that we want to go above and beyond for our family, and your timing could not be better. For you that are listening in with your health, think about where you are, and if you want to change how you're feeling, if you want to change how your clothes are fitting, then you have to add in nutrition. Nutrition is the only answer for any of us. So your timing with AdvoCare couldn't be better because of the science, because of everything that you've heard today on this call, with the Independence Bowl, with the AdvoCare 500 in Atlanta and in Phoenix, with the number 3 car. AdvoCare is doing everything in its power, Tanya, to really help us tell the story. So it's been a life-changing opportunity for us, for sure.
Well, Lisa, I have so enjoyed getting to know you and really getting to watch a lot of that journey. We don't get to work together all the time, but we've known each other for a lot of years, and I'm excited about you and your family. And you know what else I'm excited about? That $800,000 a year income means there's a lot of people that you and Carlton are helping, both on products and whose family incomes have gone up incredibly as well. So, Lisa, if you wouldn't mind staying with me, let's talk about AdvoCare. What do you do now? Let's say you want to start on products. You get back with the person who invited you on the call. If you want to get started in the business, would you just go through this with me? Because
Absolutely.
I know for Carlton and for Benji, they have that background. Benji was looking at buying the pharmaceutical company, and wasn't Carlton pretty independent with the business that he had also?
Absolutely. We've been self-employed our entire marriage. And to think about the fact that as business owners in AdvoCare, we don't have the overhead associated with a regular business. And I grew up in commercial real estate, so loved listening to, to Randy talking about being in real estate. And we don't have overhead. We don't have a mortgage payment or a power bill or staff or landscape that we have to take care of. This is a business where AdvoCare takes care of getting the products into our hands and writing the paychecks. The SciMed board takes care of making the products the absolute best. And all we have to do is provide great passion, great care, great customer service, and just have a heart for people. So you think about the product formulations and production, AdvoCare taking care of that, packaging and shipping, just getting the products out there, customer service department, an incredible customer service department at AdvoCare that goes above and beyond. They take care of our website. They take care of our reports and all the things that go along with that, e-commerce and the marketing materials. AdvoCare goes just to great lengths to give us the most professional marketing tools out there to be able to tell the story, to be able to point to the picture, because he who points to the most pictures wins. So the doctors, the endorsers, Success School, providing the environment for all of us to succeed and being DSA compliant, the legal department, making sure that we are protected from a compliance standpoint so that we can get out there again and just share this message with passion.
And I loved it because my husband, Lisa, Benji, I'm sure we've already told you this, he was looking at a $2 million company. That's what he was going to purchase. And what is really scary is that industry changed drastically when the Internet came into existence. So the competition with the Internet, there's no way we would have ever been able to survive. And in AdvoCare, what does it take to get started?
Well, when you're looking at AdvoCare, getting started for $79 is absolutely incredible. To know that you're going to get $50 worth of product samples in there that you can share with your first 10 people, your key people that you'd like to get on products, that you want to help them take control of their health, and that you want to go into business with. Who do you see in your life just sharing these products and sharing this opportunity with? Becoming a distributor is a very simple process, a wholesale customer for those that are looking on the product side. So many times people get on these products. Most times, I always say everyone shares our products. Not everybody is earning income initially, but so many times people say, you know what, everyone's asking me about the products. I might as well earn some income at the same time. Getting started, ideally the 24-day challenge. At the very least, metabolic nutrition system, getting your core nutrition back to square one, and Spark, getting your nutrition where it needs to be so that you can have the mental focus and mental clarity. And I love the 24-day challenge. I like to almost call it a 24-day focus, because we're going to help you jumpstart for the next 90 days and then on to the rest of your life. And then making that the list of people that you know, see, and care about. Who do you know, who do you see, who do you care about on a daily basis that you can help with these products, that you can help get healthy and take control of their health and offer an income opportunity? Because I love the fact that, yes, I'm offering great products, but I also am offering an incredible income opportunity to take the average family from, not earning any extra income to earning an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month. Think about what that would do for your family, an extra $2,000 a month. Dream about what an extra $10,000 a month or more might mean for your family, but you have to get to advisor. Page 1 in the playbook, as my husband always says, is to get to advisor as soon as possible. We went straight there because we knew there was absolutely no risk. We could sell the product, we could consume the product, or we could ship it back, resign and ship it back up to a full year. No questions asked, no risk whatsoever, except for getting healthier and the possibility of dreaming about more income. And you can start today. You don't have to wait. You can make a decision right now, getting back with the person that invited you and getting started with your membership, with your distributorship, and moving to that advisor level so that you can earn income 5 different ways.
Well, Lisa, I wish I could start all over again, because listening to all these stories, oh, my word. It is incredible to know how life-changing AdvoCare all around can be for people. So I want to thank everyone for being our guests on the call tonight. Lisa, special thanks to you for closing it out for us. And you know what? For those of y'all that are watching the presentation, our biggest thanks is to you for carving time out to take a look at AdvoCare. The question that I was asked when we were making the decision about AdvoCare was, if not AdvoCare, what? And if not now, when? And that was really what made me decide, and Benji and I back in 1999, to say, you know what, we're going to get started on these products and we're going to get started on this business. And here we sit all these years later with our life different. So thank you so much for joining us. Good night and God bless.